whatever Chris Doering has said about you this season, usually the opposite has been true. So I was trying to get him to pick A&M and, like a little bit of rat poison action as Coach joins us here on SEC this morning. Coach, before we get into the celebration and everything, I've been dying to ask you this. When you watch the clip back of Lenoris just running through that Texas A&M defender on your sideline, what did you say to him after you saw that clip?
Just one, take care of yourself. I love a quarterback that has that mentality. I don't want him to get in the habit of just trying to run over people all the time. But that was a really cool play from an intensity standpoint. There was already a lot of electricity and energy on our sideline and in that stadium. But seeing your quarterback do that elevated it. But that's just who he is. I mean, he's just out there having fun. And he had a smile on his face, and that's what I love about him is the moment's never too big, and he's just out there playing and competing.
Coach, I want to talk about the game plan because I think playing to the strengths of your team is important, but also minimizing disadvantageous matchups is even maybe more important of a game plan. Dow Loggins deserves a lot of credit. I said it here. I thought you guys would win, but I wasn't sure about the offensive line matching up with a very good front for A&M. No sacks allowed. You guys rushed for over 250 yards. I mean, what was that game plan like heading into the week, and how did you feel like you'd be able to have so much success running the football against a very stingy defense?
Yeah, kudos to those guys on offense, players and coaches. They did a great job, and we knew it was going to be a big challenge outside of our own defensive line, which I think is the best in the league. That group that we played Saturday night is the best defensive line in this conference. I mean, all four of those guys are going to play on Sundays, and they're going to play on Sundays for a long time, and they're going to get drafted early as well. So for us, we needed to be smart with what we were asking our guys to do. We needed to get the ball out quick, but there were also going to be times that we had to get in there and protect and win our matchups. We got good offensive linemen too, and we challenged them to do their part as well. But a big key for us was just we needed to break tackles, and we needed to tackle. Their running back is a fantastic player, and coming into our game, he was averaging something like 5 yards after contact. So we knew that we needed defensively to do a great job breaking tackles. Offensively, we had to break tackles. Like, they're really good on defense, and our running backs and quarterbacks are going to have to break tackles and make people miss, and they did. There's no question about it. And then just game plan wise, just that, do what we do, but we threw some new things at them. We involved the more design quarterback run game a little bit more than what we had been. Just some new formations, but really it was just our guys playing really, really hard and playing with a lot of physicality, which is what it was going to take against Texas A&M in order to have success because of how physical they are.
Coach, you lose Mazeo Bennett in the first half, and everyone kind of takes a collective sigh knowing how important he is as a skill player on that offense. But Rocket Sanders stepped up in a major way in the run game and in the pass game. What did you see from him in his preparation really all season that lent itself to this sort of vintage Rocket performance that we've all been waiting for?
Yeah, we needed him to have the night that he had on Saturday night. There's no question about it, Alyssa. And so much of it is just his preparation. He's a great young man, but the way that he prepares day in, day out, ever since he got here in January, for the physical rigors of the SEC. And, I think the bye week certainly was good for him to be able to get refreshed and get even healthier. And he looked fast. He looked explosive the other night as well. And, we need to we told our guys, Saturday was going to be about our best players needed to play really, really well. That this is a game on Saturday night against two of the best teams in the SEC with two of the most talented, some of the most talented players in this league as well, and that we needed those guys to step up and play well. And those guys did, whether it be Rocket on offense or Josh Simon on offense or Lenoris Sellers on offense. We saw a lot of those great individual efforts, and Rocket was right there at the top.
Coach, I think one of the things I love about you is the transparency, allowing fans to see what goes on behind the scenes. I've loved some of the speeches you've given your team. Taking your team up to the top of the stadium was one of the best social media moments. But that celebration after the game, man, serenading your wife, was that a plan going in, or was that more of a spur-of-the-moment decision for you?
It was a plan for sure if we won the game, just because I knew it was her birthday coming up as well, and it's actually going back to it. I mean, it's something that our that song I've been hearing our players, sing it from time to time at practice, going all the way back to last season. So it's something that I thought about last season, but Saturday night was certainly the perfect time with her birthday coming up this Thursday as well, and the energy in that locker room was sky high. There's no question about it. So it was set up perfect.
I mean, CD, like you have a lot of you like to say you have a lot of game, but like this is RIZZ. This is what the kids would call like this is goals right here. Coach, I saw Fantasia even reposted the video. I mean, that had to be pretty cool.
Yeah, that was. Some of the players were talking to me about that at practice last night. That hey, did you see the Fantasia? Commented on it or reposted it or whatnot, and I had to look up what RIZZ means, Alyssa. I saw somebody said that on social media. I'm like, what is RIZZ? It was a good moment, and it's pretty cool just hearing from. Apparently, that's the most viral or most watched social media post in the history of Gamecock football, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Wow.
But it's been pretty neat hearing from uh, recruits or recruits' parents or some of our current players' dads that have been texting me mad at me because I set the bar high for them and their wives as well. But it just goes back to our players, and I appreciate you saying that, CD, the transparency in this program. We've got a really awesome group of people, and that was on display on the field Saturday night during the game, and that was certainly on display with that post game celebration in the locker room also.
Coach, everything was not all sunshine and rainbows, though. You guys jump out to the lead. They come storming back. And it really, to me, it felt a lot like the LSU game. And I was thinking, I made the comment at the time in the studio that this is one that it seems to be going the other direction. I thought the difference was, unlike that LSU game, you guys drive at the end of the half. You get that field goal that you didn't get in that first half of the LSU game. And then I wrote these stats down here, man. Second half, your defense only allows 128 total yards. You get 3 sacks. You allow 2 of 9 conversions on 3rd and 4th downs combined. I thought the resiliency that you guys showed after letting that early lead get away and some of the momentum going to the other sideline was important, man. What'd you talk about in the halftime locker room speech?
Yeah, no, that's so true, and I appreciate you saying that. Halftime wise, it was look, guys, we talked before the game. Don't look at the scoreboard. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Just keep playing, keep fighting, and we'll look up at the end, and the score will take care of itself. And what we told them at halftime really is, what more could you want? Like we say, this is the team that we want to be. We've been saying all week this is a identity type game because of how Texas A&M wants to play football and how we do as well. And we're in an identity game. It's a battle. It's going to come down to the fourth quarter. We're at home versus the number 1 team in the SEC. Like everything that we've worked for, it's right here in front of us, and what an opportunity. And then we also talked about, a lot of the reasons that it was 20-20 was, you give credit to A&M, but a lot of those too were self-inflicted, whether it be a turnover on offense or lined up the wrong way defensively, and we give up a 60-yard touchdown run. So we just needed to continue to play winning football, and that was really our theme all week. You got to beat Texas A&M. They're not going to beat themselves, and in order to do that, you got to play winning football, not having a lot of penalties and not turning the ball over. So we just needed to do more of that, and that response in the second half. I mean, there's a lot of things I was proud about Saturday night, but I told the team yesterday in our team meeting that may be right at the top, just the response for us to go up 14-0. We got momentum, and then they scored 20 points and retake the lead. The 2-minute drive before the half was huge, being able to get a field goal out of that. And then to, punch, they counter punched, and then we punched right back and dominated the second half in a lot of ways and outscored them 14-0 in the fourth quarter. That's a huge testament to the mental fortitude and physical toughness of our team as well.
And the celebrations raged on in Columbia. I got to watch it from the sidelines. It was awesome. I will say, of everyone celebrating, obviously Coach's kids and Emily celebrated with him after the post-game interview, but to watch his mom and dad, Frank and Cheryl, over on the sidelines with the rest of the family taking it all in, Really was so cool, Coach. Congratulations. And hey, have a great week of prep getting ready for Vandy.
No, I appreciate it. We got a big challenge up in Nashville Saturday, and excited to see a lot of garnet and black up in the stands in Nashville on Saturday afternoon. And congrats to you on your honor down here this past weekend as well, and as an alumnus of Carolina and all the amazing things you're doing as well. So congrats to you. It was a big weekend for all of us.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate you
Thanks,
as
man.
always.
You got it. Go Gamecocks.
Now he's got to start to get ready to figure out how to stop Diego Pavia, which
It never ends. Like, in this
never
conference, you can't relax. But I do
rest
want to
for the
just,
weary.
before we go to break, I want to emphasize something he said. It was an identity game. And I said
Yes.
on a Saturday, like, they took the identity of what Texas A&M was, and they one-upped them in each of those things, being more physical, running the ball, being able to get after the quarterback. All of those things that Texas A&M had used as their recipe for success is what the Gamecocks went out and did and beat them at their own game. It was impressive.
Yeah, and it was a 4-quarter battle from a physicality standpoint. South Carolina never let up. They never stopped hitting any less hard than they did when they started that game.